Chapter 11. The Soul Existence. We've explored vital energy and vibration all through this document and have, I think, got a pretty good grasp on what's going on within the human body when it comes to the flow of this energy throughout us. But what does it do? What is the soul? Is there proof of its existence? The sarcastic answer to this would be, gather up the best surgeons in the world next to you, cut off your hand and wait to bleed to death. Once you've bled to death, have the surgeons replace all of your lost blood, reattach your hand, and shock your heart. If there weren't the existence of an energy/soul within you, then you would come back to life without a problem. We all know that this isn't possible, but if we were really just organic robots without a driver, it would be. When we die, a piece of ourselves disappears. There is no denying that, otherwise this experiment would be a success. However, we can't just take this for granted. I want to know for sure that there's a soul within the body. Sure, we can look at all of the previous documentation and all of the answers are right there for us to look at, but since we've scientifically looked at everything else pertaining to what we are made of, we might as well find the sciences that can back up the existence of the soul. Now, I could make this simple on myself and could tell you that there are actual cameras, like the Russian Klenk camera, that can see the aura/soul within the human body and we'd be done with it, but this isn't good enough for me. There's got to be a better way to show the existence of the soul/vital energy. We all experience this soul interaction every day, through every moment of our lives, awake and asleep, but how do we prove or show it? Well, we all experience gravity, right? We all experience wind, right? Because we all have experienced these forces, that have no visual attributes to them, we know that they are there. Haven't we experienced the soul or feelings associated with this vital energy? We've all experienced dreams and déjà vu. Isn't this enough to prove that the soul exists? Isn't thought the energy that drives the body? We can't see thought, so could this be the soul? All of these thought processes sound convincing, but they don't really prove anything. We are going to have to find another way to explore the soul. We are going to have to explore the sciences revolving the programming of the human mind. Meditation. What exactly is meditating? It's actually pretty simple, really. If you were to look up meditating online, you would find a vast amount of information from very simple practices of clearing your mind to very complex practices involving a mass amount of poses to help with the opening of energy gateways, chakras. Meditating is basically the quieting of your mind and tuning in with your subconscious/soul/vital energy. The energy within you starts at your belly, so breathing is a very important part of meditating. Most people, nowadays, have been taught to be self-conscious of their weight and have incorporated some very bad habits when it comes to their bodies. One of these bad practices is breathing. There's a lot of people who hold in their stomach to make themselves seem thinner and have incorporated breathing into the chest as opposed to the way we are supposed to breathe in order to circulate our vital energy throughout our body, through our stomach. Try it now. Take a few deep breaths in through your chest. Now take a few deep breaths in through your stomach. There is quite a difference in the effects of proper breathing and improper breathing. This is the first hinge that needs to be mastered. We have been programmed to do things a certain way that are actually small pieces that are preventing our vital energy from flowing freely throughout our bodies. Many ancient religious documentation teaches these healthy practices of energy flow, however most of us will have to start from scratch and retrain ourselves from certain bad habits that we have acquired over the years. Once you have your body trained to automatically breathe properly, the next thing we have to learn to do is shut our brain up. Because we live in a world where there is so much going on around us, our brains are constantly running wild. We usually just let our brains run wild with thoughts, ideas, stresses, and what if, which despite what professionals would tell you, is not as healthy for you as what you'd think. Our lack of control of our brains is a huge problem. This is the next step in our meditation, quieting the mind. Of course, there are many guides to meditating and even through many religious documents, there are guides for meditating, but I'll give you a simple meditation exercise to start training the mind and body. First, sit or lay down in a comfortable place where you will not be disturbed. Close your eyes and breathe through your stomach in a deep calm manner. Focus on your breathing. Your mind, as we've explored through previous chapters, is the translator and transmitter of every bit of energy and vibration that exists around you. This is especially true within your own body. Your imagination is what controls everything, so you actually can use mental visual stimulation from your imagination in your own mind to assist your body in anything you want it to do. In your imagination, while you're breathing in through your belly, imagine every intake of breath creating a ball of light within your abdomen. As you exhale, imagine this ball of light traveling from your stomach to the tip of your spine, your tailbone, and then traveling up the spine, out through the top of your head. This is the essence to proper breathing and will assist in the clearing of your mind as well. Once you have gotten this ball of light breathing down, you might find that your mind starts to veer off again, creating thoughts that are out of control again. You need to be in control of your brain at all times, so here's another exercise to throw on top of the brain to shut it up again. While continuing your breathing, count down from 100 to 0. Imagine the numbers appearing and disappearing as you count down in your mind. This will remove all thought from the outside world around you. Once you get to 0, your brain should be quiet again. Continue this as needed. Clearing the mind and breathing is the foundation to meditation. I got to be honest with you, I've been meditating for a long time and have never thrown myself into any pretzel pose from any yoga exercise to gain better access to the capabilities beyond my own body. It is not necessary. So, those of you who think that spending $200 plus on a yoga course is actually going to get you closer to enlightenment, closer to God, or unlock yourself faster, I believe you'll be sadly disappointed and lacking a hefty amount of money from your pocket. In all reality though, these people who enforce these types of courses are only partially informed anyway. Once you get yourself a good foundation of breathing and quieting of the mind, there are some other practices that you might want to throw on top of it. One of these is actually circulating the energy throughout your body in a physical manner. Again, pretzeling yourself on the floor with a bunch of people in some studio apartment somewhere isn't necessarily the key to circulating the vital energy throughout your body. There's a much easier way to do this. While you're in a meditation mode, start to lift up your limbs, especially your legs, but don't actually lift them. Before there's any movement from your body parts, there is a signal being sent from your brain to your body telling your body we're about to get moving. You can send these signals to your body parts without actually moving any part of your body. This electrical current helps your vital energy along through its course within your body. This is a practice that you should definitely be practicing and is referred to in the Emerald Tablets as sending energy down to your feet to remove the presence of darkness around you. Get yourself very familiar with sending these signals throughout your body, because this is the practice which will allow you to push energy to the outside of your body. Tawakai is another form of this, but again, it's possible to attain this energy transfer without the spending your actual physical energy. As a matter of fact, I believe that when you only focus your energies on the vital energy and not the physical movement, you gain more of a focus on your internal energies. Another practice that you will want to incorporate within your meditation is a slight movement of the head, rocking it back and forth on the point where your spine meets your brain/skull. Most people have seen this on the walls of the Great Pyramids, and there was even a song called Walk Like an Egyptian back in the 1980s that incorporated a dance that involved the movement of the head back and forth with your hands above your head. You don't have to go to the extremes that the 80s dance incorporated. That's way too much movement for what you need and is actually more of a distraction than anything. While you're meditating, rock your head slightly, back and forth and left and right. Very, very slightly. What this does is stimulates the connection between the spinal cord and the brain, and if your breathing techniques are properly being executed, then the vital energy will flow much easier. It might not feel like it's doing much at first, but keep doing it. Soon you'll find your brain being stimulated to an almost orgasmic proportion. Yes, a braingasm. Rocking your skull/brain on your spine is equivalent to more or less masturbating your mind. Once you get all of these practices going in unison, your internal energy will start to become external energy and your force will be felt throughout the room. If you happen to have a tube television in the room with you, you will actually cause the electrons from your own energy to pop the electrons in the tube. It's pretty wild once it starts happening every time you meditate. It can also scare the crap out of you and make you lose your concentration, but wild nonetheless. The purpose for meditating is pretty simple and complex as well. More or less, we meditate to connect ourselves with our subconscious/soul, to remember all of the knowledge that has been accumulated by your soul over numerous lifetimes. We are to remember what our purpose is in this lifetime and the purpose for everything. We all hold the information hidden away within our soul energies and within the human body itself. It's all here for us to grab, we just have to grab it. One of the greatest minds of the past 100 years actually had a meditation system down that was so ingenious that I believe it rivaled the scientific theories and knowledge he brought to the world. The person I'm speaking of is Albert Einstein. Yes, he brought many great things to our world, but did you ever look into how he came up with the knowledge he possessed? If you have meditated before, you're quite aware that you can get yourself so comfortable within your state that you actually fall asleep. This isn't a bad thing, but the state in which you would grab most of your information is the state right before you fall asleep. This is the deepest point of meditation before you lose three-dimensional consciousness, which would be the ideal spot to gain information, because you haven't quite disconnected yourself from consciousness but are connected directly to your subconscious. If you were to fall asleep, you'd forget the information or maybe even never realize that you were gaining information at all. Einstein would meditate in his office chair with a rock in each hand. When he fell asleep or reached the point where he was about to fall asleep, he would lose grip of the rocks in his hands. When the rocks hit the floor, he'd wake up and immediately write down what was in his head or what was gained through his meditation. If he didn't write it down immediately, the thoughts would have fluttered from his mind and may have been lost forever. So, if you want to use your meditation experience for the gaining of knowledge, then I recommend taking a tip from Albert. He had it figured out. All very cool stuff to learn, and if you incorporate what we know from religions and this basic understanding of meditating, you can grab a good understanding of how the vital energy flows within you as well as how to manipulate it. As awesome and informative as this all is, this still doesn't prove the existence of a soul, only a circulation of the energy. Let's take a look at professional human mind programming. The true mind hackers of the world, hypnotists. Hypnosis. What is hypnosis? It is meditation guided by someone else. That's basically it. There is no magic words that are used. There is no wand that a hypnosis pulls out of their pockets that throws you into a trance. It is guided meditation based on suggestion, that's all. Anyone can hypnotize, they just have to have a willing participant. Suggestion to the mind is all it takes to gain access to the mind, even from a source outside of your own body. Hypnosis is used to reprogram or guide the subconscious. Hypnotherapy is used to get to the root of someone's issues by talking directly to the subconscious. Aside from also aligning the vital energy within ourselves, this is basically what we are trying to do through meditation, right? Yep. What a hypnotherapist can do is get right in there to the subconscious and talk to it. That's pretty neat, but what does this mean? Basically, the hypnosis is capable of talking to your soul. Not only can they access information from your life by directing you to moments within it, but some have taken it to the next level. Past life regression. What is past life regression? A hypnotherapist is capable of diving not only into your present life experiences, but also your past, lived through talking to your soul/subconscious while you're under hypnosis. I think some people may have heard the term past life regression and looked at this as the same as palm reading or a psychic reading, but it is not. This is, of course, talking with the soul/subconscious, but it isn't getting readings from a higher source out of our dimension or a ghost. This is a hypnotist talking to the subconscious about its experiences in its lives. Again, I believe that just the term past life regression has actually created a mystic vibe around it, making people say things like, "I don't believe in that stuff." Haha. It doesn't matter what you believe when it comes to things that are proven and are in our existence. This is fact and science. That's like saying, I don't believe in physics. This isn't witchcraft or magic, this is science, and it proves that there is not only life after death, but it proves the existence of souls who gather information from our lives over and over. It also proves that we hold knowledge within us of past lives and experiences. It also proves that we are capable of accessing this information. This is a truly amazing aspect of the mind and body, but knowing this and that we are capable of diving into our past lives and retrieving facts of the past, shouldn't we be using this knowledge to start piecing together parts of the earthly and universal past? Shouldn't we be getting down to the bottom of all of this through these practices? Shouldn't we be using the capabilities of past life regression to get some absolute answers about everything? Yes, we should, and there are those who already have. Why haven't you heard of them? That's not for me to answer, but I will show you where to obtain this knowledge. Dolores Cannon. Dolores Cannon is a true pioneer of past life regression. She once was a normal hypnotherapist with her husband and decided to take her abilities to another level, past life regressions for the betterment of humanity. Over the years, she has refined her techniques beyond what others have and has been working with many people, talking to their subconscious/souls for a deeper look into humanity's past. She took all of her findings and displayed them for all the world to see. I, throughout my own studying and gaining of knowledge, was guided to her works and have gained more of an understanding because of it. I recommend that you read the books that she has presented to the world of new understandings of old knowledge and civilizations. Through her work, Speaking with Past Lives about humanity's past, she has filled many gaps of knowledge for many scholars, archaeologists, scientists, and, well, normal everyday people. I will not expose everything that has been written in her books because I don't want to be a spoiler, but for the purposes of my own writing, The New World Perspective, I will indeed have to include some of the knowledge within her writings in a later chapter. It's for the betterment of us all to have a full understanding of everything, and in order to do as such, some information must be exposed. There is much to be gained from her work. Here's a list of her books. Jesus and the Essence. Conversations with Nostradamus. Between Life and Death. Conversations with the Spirit Keepers of the Garden. A Soul Remembers Hiroshima. They Walked with Jesus. Past Life Experiences with Christ. The Legend of Star Trek. Legacy from the Stars. Custodians. Beyond Abduction. Conversations with the Spirit. The Convoluted Universe. 5 Lives Remembered. The 3 Waves of Volunteers and the New Earth 2012. Creating Your Own Shift. The Convoluted Universe Book 2.